Welcome back to the deep dive. We're setting off on a really interesting journey today. We're exploring how something pretty straightforward, like giving food, can actually, well, open up some deep insights into our inner world.
That's right. And our source material for this, it's a teaching drawing from, deep Buddhist traditions. It focuses specifically on the merit you get from giving, often talked about with meal offerings.
Okay, so what's our goal here? What are we trying to unpack for you, our listener?
Well, the mission is really to peel back the layers of this teaching. We want to see what this ancient wisdom tells us about generosity, right? And crucially, how that connects to our own sort of inner spiritual path.
And we'll focus on the core ideas, make them accessible, not get bogged down in, complex language stuff.
Exactly. Substance over jargon.
All right, let's jump right in. Because the teaching starts with a pretty powerful statement, sets the stage. There's this key Pali phrase mentioned early on, Bhojanaṁ, bhikkhave, dadamāno, dāyako, pañca, deti. We don't need to memorize the Pali, but the meaning is vital. It basically says, giving food grants 5 specific benefits to the recipients. Simple as that.
Yeah, and what's cool is that it doesn't just leave it there, like you get benefits. It spells them out 5 specific things.
Exactly. And they're not just physical either. The first one is iya.
Yeah, okay, what's that?
It means longevity, basically. Or life force, vitality. You're contributing to the recipient's lifespan.
Got it. Life. What's next?
Then there's vanteo. This one's interesting. It translates to complexion or beauty, even freshness of the body.
So like health and radiance, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Contributing to their glow, you could say.
Okay, number 3.
Sukha. This is happiness or well-being. And it's broad physical comfort, mental ease, just feeling good overall.
Sukha. Happiness. Makes sense. Food can definitely bring comfort.
For sure.
Yeah.
Then number 4 is balā.
Strength.
Strength, physical strength.
Yes, but more than that. The teaching clarifies strength of body, yes, but also strength of speech and strength of mind. Oh, interesting. So resilience, capability.
Right. Strength on multiple levels. And finally, number 5, pañca.
Pañca. That sounds specific.
It is. It means cleverness, quick-wittedness, intelligence, sharpness of mind.
Wow. Okay, so let's recap. Life, vitality or looks, happiness, strength body, speech, mind, and intelligence.
Those are the 5 concrete results of receiving food, according to this teaching.
Now, here's where it gets really fascinating for me, and the source emphasizes this again and again. The giver, the dāyako, doesn't just, hand over these benefits and walk away empty-handed.
No, not at all. The teaching is really clear. The giver shares in those exact same 5 benefits.
Right. It uses phrases like ayuka dattayusa bhagavati. Having given life, the giver becomes a sharer in life.
That's huge, isn't it? It's not give and lose. It's give and gain, too.
Exactly. You give beauty, you share in beauty. You give happiness, you share in happiness.
Give strength, share in strength. Give intelligence, share in intelligence. It's built in.
It's this amazing principle of, energetic reciprocity. By helping create these qualities in someone else, you're actually cultivating them in yourself at the same time.
So generosity becomes this tool for personal growth, not just helping others.
Precisely. It's like planting seeds, Right. The harvest benefits both the soil you planted in and you, the planter.
It really does shift the perspective. It makes giving feel fundamental. Which brings us nicely to the role of the donors mentioned in the source text. They're called things like upholders of Buddhism and support of the religion. Why such significant titles?
Well, the reason is actually very practical, very down-to-earth in this tradition. Monastics, monks, novices, their whole life is dedicated to practice, right? They depend completely on the community for their basic needs, especially food.
Ah, okay, so without the food offerings?
They simply can't keep going, can't meditate, can't study, can't preserve the teachings. The whole thing could decline.
So the act of giving food is literally what sustains the spiritual practice, and by extension, the religion itself. It's a direct lifeline.
Absolutely. And the source even points out how powerful this is. It says just one meal offering can sustain a monastic for quite a while, helping them maintain those 5 benefits we talked about.
Allowing them to practice effectively.
Exactly. And keep contributing. The source also mentions other gifts, of course, robes, lodging, medicine. You see these lists in different texts.
Right, like the 10 gifts in the Sutta or the 4 requisites in the Vinaya.
Yeah, but food, alms food, it's always there. It seems really central.
Okay, but the teaching goes deeper than just the act of giving or the giver. It puts a lot of weight on who receives the gift. This is where we get the concept of Dhammakaya persons, worthy recipients.
Dhammakaya persons. This introduces, a hierarchy of merit. Giving to anyone, animals, ordinary people, that generates merit, sure. But the source draws a really sharp line here.
How so?
It says giving to those who are spiritually advanced. Well, the merit is vastly greater, like almost off the charts. Countless, immeasurable is the phrase used. Asakya apama.
Wow. Countless and immeasurable.
Oh.
That's a serious difference. So it's not just the gift, it's the recipient's spiritual level.
Precisely. Their purity, their attainment acts like a multiplier for the merit.
And the source lists specific types of these worthy individuals, right? These noble persons.
Yeah.
It lists 9 stages, basically mapping the path to liberation in this tradition. Starts with the stream enterer, the ones just entering the path, goes up through once returner, non-returner, all the way to the arahant, the fully liberated ones, path and fruit for each stage.
These are people who've really purified their minds, overcome the deep stuff.
Right. And there's also the 9th one mentioned, the Gotrabu individual.
Gotrabu, what's that signify?
It's described as this pivotal, transformative stage. Someone who's kind of broken through the ordinary state, right on the verge of the noble path. And importantly, it connects to the idea of realizing the Dharma body, which we'll get to.
Okay, so the recipient matters. A lot. Does the source give examples? Oh, yeah. Really striking ones to drive the point home.
Well, yeah.
There's Inthaka the farmer.
Inthaka, what did he do?
He gave just one meal, a single offering. But he gave it to an arahant, someone at the absolute peak.
And the result?
Immense merit. Because the recipient was so pure, Inthaka was reborn, the story goes, in a high heaven, Tavatisa, with incredible divine wealth.
Just from one meal to the right person. Wow. What's the contrast?
The contrast is Okura the millionaire. This guy apparently gave massively for 20,000 years distributing food, huge-scale generosity.
That's like incredible merit.
You'd think so. But he was giving mainly to ordinary people, folks outside that specific worthy recipient category. His merit, while significant, was less than Inthaka's single meal offering. His heavenly reward was less impressive.
That's stark. Really highlights the principle. It's not just quantity. It's the quality of the field you plant your seed of merit in.
Exactly. Giving wisely to those who are depthly practicing inner purification creates this powerful positive feedback.
And the source then applies this directly to the context it comes from, saying the monastics at Pañca, who receive offerings, are considered worthy recipients.
Yes, because, according to this teaching, they have attained or are practicing towards attaining the Dharma body.
It's making them a potent field of merit for donors.
That's the assertion. Which leads us into, well, maybe the deepest part of this teaching, moving from the external act to something profoundly internal.
You mean the paramatha gifts? About giving material things anymore.
Well, and this is described as the highest form of giving. And what is it? It's giving up attachment.
Ariya-puggala.
Letting go. Specifically, letting go of our delight, our clinging, our attachment to sense objects.
Forms, sounds, smells, tastes, physical sensations, even mental stuff. Letting go of the craving for them.
Yeah. And this inner letting go, the source says, is the source of the greatest merit. It's a direct path towards nirvana.
So the ultimate gift is internal release.
Mm-hmm. And this connects directly to how the source explains the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha.
Traditionally seen as external refuges, right?
Yes, but here the teaching emphasizes they are found within you. They're inner realities you can discover.
Okay, how does it give instructions?
It does. Very specific ones, actually. It points to a location in the body. The center of the body is 2 inches above the navel.
What?
It says to point the paṭigāhakānaṁ, right at the middle center. kaṇḍa. This point is seen as like the gateway.
The gateway to inner dimensions.
Kind of, yeah. Within this tradition, that's the spot where you can still the mind and turn awareness inwards.
And the technique
is described simply as stopping the mind, keeping it perfectly still. Sanad. Right at that center point.
Just stop thinking. Keep it still there.
Essentially. When the mind becomes truly still and focused there, the teaching says you start to penetrate inwards. Through layers, like peeling an onion. Layers of subtler bodies, or states of being, they use the word kaya, and spheres of dharma within.
What kind of layers?
Well, it mentions things like a subtle human body, then a tipya body, or divine body, then spheres representing inner qualities.
Like virtue, concentration.
Exactly. Spheres of morality, sila, concentration, samadhi, wisdom, pañca, liberation, vimukti, and even the knowledge and vision of liberation, vimuttiññādasana. You move through these.
And where does this lead?
It leads to a core inner realization, the Dharma body. The Dharma body. And this is identified as
the true Buddha gem within.
The essence of Buddhahood found inside you.
Wow. What's it like? Does it describe it?
Oh, yeah. Quite vividly. It's like a Buddha image, but perfectly clear, like a mirror, radiant. It has this distinctive feature, a lotus bud-shaped flame on top of the head.
A clear Buddha image inside. How big?
The initial one is described as just under 5 fathoms across the lap. You know, pretty big for something inside you.
Definitely. So the Buddha isn't just history, it's an inner potential, this Dharma body.
That's the idea. And within that Dharma body, you also find the other gems.
The Dharma and Sangha.
Yes. The Dharma gem kaṇḍa, is described as a clear sphere within the Dharma body, and the Sangha gem pañca as another larger clear sphere.
So the entire triple gem is realized internally.
That's the teaching. And it goes further, saying that as you progress, you realize higher, larger Dharma bodies corresponding to those noble stages we mentioned earlier. Stream enterer Dharma body and so on, getting bigger up to 20 fathoms.
It really emphasizes this Dharma body.
Absolutely. The source even quotes Pali passages to saying the Tathagata, the Buddha, is the Dharma body. And another one, Vasya, the word Dharma body is indeed a designation of the Tathagata. It's making a strong claim. The ultimate reality of the Buddha is this inner body.
Okay, this is deep, but how does it connect back to, giving that meal, the external act?
Great question. Here's the bridge. The teaching explains that the merit you accumulate from giving, especially giving done with that paramatha intention, that spirit of letting go of kaṇḍa, and giving to those worthy recipients.
Yeah, what happens to that merit?
It doesn't just vanish into, cosmic accounting. It becomes something tangible, real, inside you.
Tangible how?
It manifests as a clear sphere of light, or right at that center point of the body we talked about, the gateway.
So your good deeds, your generosity, literally builds an inner light, a sphere of merit.
That's exactly what the teaching says. It becomes a real energetic resource within your own inner landscape.
And it says this sphere attaches to all those subtle bodies as you go deeper in meditation.
Yes, it becomes woven into your inner fabric, reinforcing all those levels.
Okay, so what's the practical point of having this inner sphere of merit?
Protection, success, well-being. The source says if you remember this sphere, focus your mind on it at the center. CO can find it's a zen, especially when you're facing difficulties or starting something important.
And what?
It provides protection from danger. It leads to prosperity and success in your endeavors.
Like tapping into your spiritual bank account for real-world help.
Sort of, yeah. It's illustrated with the story of Prince Siddhartha right before he became the Buddha, facing Mara, the tempter.
The battle with Mara's armies? How did he win?
Not with weapons. He relied on his merit. His barami, his perfections accumulated over countless lifetimes of giving and practice. He focused inwardly on that vast store of merit. And the earth goddess appeared as a witness to all his past giving. Symbolized by all the water he'd poured during donations, she wrung the water out of her hair.
Representing his merit.
Exactly. And the flood of merit washed away Mara and his forces. It's a powerful image showing that merit isn't just for the next life. It's a real internal power you can access now, for protection, for strength, for achieving goals, even enlightenment.
Okay, let's try and put this all together then. This deep dive seems to connect our outward actions with our inner potential in a really direct way.
Yeah, it starts with something simple, giving. Giving food, specifically. This creates real benefits for others. Yeah.
Life, vitality, happiness, strength, intelligence.
And crucially, we, the givers, share in those same benefits. It comes back to us.
Then the impact of our giving is magnified enormously depending on the spiritual purity of the recipient. Giving to those advanced on the path creates huge positive momentum.
Right. And that merit we gain, especially when we give with the intention to let go of attachment, the highest giving, it doesn't just disappear, it solidifies. It becomes a tangible inner resource.
The sphere of light, Lana, right at the center of our being.
Exactly. And that internal merit sphere becomes the foundation, the fuel for deeper inner exploration through meditation.
It helps us access those subtle inner layers.
And ultimately leads to discovering the triple gem Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, not just out there, but as realities within us, embodied literally as the Dharma body and its associated spheres.
So generosity isn't just charity work separate from meditation. It's actually a vital spiritual practice in itself.
It builds the inner strength, the foundation, the actual substance of merit needed to support our lives and our deeper journey towards, well-being and liberation.
It really paints a compelling picture, giving as building this tangible internal power source.
Yeah, it challenges us, doesn't it, to think about giving not just as something for others, but as a core practice for ourselves, building something real inside.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. How might seeing your own generosity in this light as building a tangible inner sphere of merit that supports your deepest potential, how might that change the way you approach giving?
Definitely gives making merit a whole new, much more concrete dimension, something to think about.
Absolutely. Plenty to reflect on as we wrap up this deep dive.